So in the last video, I talked about how MMOs feel different now, lonely. Like the magic of the social side, the guilds, the late night chaos, the dumb in-game weddings, all that's kind of fading. And that's still true in a way. MMOs aren't what they used to be. But after sitting with that thought for a bit, I realized something else. Something kind of surprising. Maybe the problem wasn't the lack of people. Maybe the problem was that I kept expecting to play these games the same way I did 10 years ago, when my life was different. My energy was different. I was different. Because here's the truth. I don't always want to be social anymore. Not because I don't love people, but because I'm tired. Tired of always having to perform. Tired of showing up even when I'm not really there. Tired of needing to be on. These days, I log in alone. And for once, I'm starting to realize that might actually be okay. Because maybe MMOs are evolving into something else, something quieter, more personal, less about the crowd and more about the space. So if you've been playing solo lately, not because you have to, but because it feels right, you're not broken. You're just gaming your way. And honestly, that's kind of beautiful. So, yeah, maybe this solo thing isn't a sign that something's wrong. Maybe it's not about the games getting worse or the people disappearing. Maybe it's just us getting older, getting tired. I don't know about you, but sometimes I just don't have the energy to be social. And not in a leave me alone kind of way. More like I've already used up my words for the day. The meetings, the texts, the little notifications, the never-ending pressure to reply to something. So when I finally sit down to game, I'm not looking for a party invite. I'm not checking if my FC is doing maps tonight. I just want quiet. I want to slip into a world that feels alive, even if I'm not talking to anyone in it. And the thing is, it still feels good. I can stand in a town full of random players and not say a word and still feel like I'm part of something. Not committed, not required, just present. That's kind of rare these days, isn't it? To be somewhere and not feel like you owe anyone anything. There's this weird comfort in seeing a bunch of other silent players doing their own thing. Mining, crafting, running in circles like maniacs. It's like background warmth. It reminds me I'm not really alone, even if I'm not talking. And I think we don't give enough credit to that. The quiet presence, the low-pressure connection. It's not social in the traditional sense, but it still feels human. And maybe that's enough. And I think that's what makes solo play kind of special, honestly. You start to rediscover the game, but without all the noise, without the expectations. No one's telling you what build to run. No one's rushing you through dialogue or saying, bro, skip cutscene. You're just playing. And it's weird how freeing that is. Like, you start remembering why you picked up the game in the first place. Not to top meters, not to flex gear score, just to explore, to exist in this little digital world that doesn't demand anything from you. I'll be real, some of the best moments I've had in MMOs recently were just me, wandering into a zone I haven't seen in years, finding a random quest line I never finished, fishing while some emotional music kicks in and suddenly I'm reflecting on my childhood trauma for no reason. That's the good stuff. And you don't get that when you're constantly in group content, sprinting from point A to B. Solo play lets you slow down. It lets the world breathe a little, lets you breathe a little. You stop playing to keep up and start playing to feel something, even if it's just peace. And the funny thing is, playing solo doesn't mean you're locked into it forever. Just because today you needed some quiet doesn't mean tomorrow you won't feel like partying up or joining a voice chat or accidentally stumbling into some chaotic dungeon rung with strangers that ends in a friendship you didn't expect. That's the beauty of MMOs, right? They're big enough to hold both versions of you, the social butterfly and the silent observer, the raid leader and the glam farmer who hasn't spoken in zone chat in 3 weeks. And sometimes the version you are right now just needs to be left alone. It's not permanent. It's just this season of your life. And honestly, that's okay. You're not missing out. You're not playing wrong. You're doing exactly what you need to in a way that makes sense for where you're at. Don't stress. You're not broken. You're just playing at your own pace. And if the social spark comes back, cool. You'll know. And if it doesn't for a while, that's cool too. The game will still be there, and so will the people. And the more you slow down, the more you start to notice something else. You start to level out. Like, not your character, you, your brain, your rhythm. All that overstimulation we live in day to day, TikTok swipes, YouTube shorts, 100 tiny dopamine bombs a minute, it wires us to expect everything instantly. And when we don't get that, we think we're bored. But really, we're just detoxing. The truth is, MMOs aren't built for that kind of speed. They're slow, intentionally. They're about build-up, progression, tiny routines, things that don't scream for your attention, but earn it over time. So when you start unwiring yourself from that rush, when you stop chasing the next ping, the next notification, the next little hit, you start seeing the game differently. You find yourself caring about details again, exploring again. It's like your brain finally sits down and goes, oh, right, this is what it felt like when I actually had time to enjoy something. And honestly, that's kind of beautiful. Because in a weird, quiet way, you're not just reconnecting with the game, you're reconnecting with yourself. Maybe that's what MMOs are becoming for some of us now. Not battlegrounds, not stat checkers, but sanctuaries. Places we go to breathe, to get quiet, to feel just a little bit more human in a world that keeps trying to make us move faster, click harder, consume more. And the best part is, they're still built for it. The worlds are still beautiful. The music still wraps around you. The NPCs still wait patiently for you to come back, no matter how long you've been gone. You just have to give yourself permission to slow down, to walk instead of sprint, to read the quest text, to take the long road across the zone just to see the skybox change. And I know it's not always easy. We're so wired for the grind, the rush, the next shiny thing. But if you let that go, just a little, you might find the magic again. That quiet little voice inside you that says, I remember this. This is why I loved games. So if you're feeling burned out, disconnected, overwhelmed, don't quit. Just slow down. Turn down the UI. Put on your favorite in-game outfit. And take the scenic route. Games don't have to be fast. They don't have to be efficient. They don't have to be social, competitive, or productive. They just have to be yours. Your space. Your escape. Your little sanctuary. And if that means playing solo, moving slow, and soaking it all in, then you're not doing it wrong. You're doing it right. So take your time. Take the long way. And maybe fall in love with it again. I'll be here, somewhere quiet in the world. And I'll see you on the next final bout.